I ask this question to you of non-colored America. What should we do? Very straightforward question. But the answer is nowhere near simple or straightforward. As a man of color, I don't condone or support rioting and looting and the destruction of property. I don't. I can't justify it. But I can at the same time do justify it. Buildings can be rebuilt, buildings can be reconstructed. Merchandise for a lot of these big stores have insurance. The mom and pop places in the neighborhood, it shouldn't happen. That's where I say no. But the biggest question lies, what should we do in order to enact change? I was playing poker. I'm mad. I'm not even gonna lie. I have a rage simmering in me right now. I live in the boondocks, which is also known as the suburb. Last night I'm playing poker with some friends, all white. There's no sports on, so all we have is news. And as we're playing and everything is going down, I had to ask the host to turn it off. Because these guys I've been knowing for over a decade, good friends. I invite them into my home and I do love them. I do. They're great people. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. But the comments that they were making made me uncomfortable. No, it made me angry. Because they don't get it. And they possibly can't get it. And at that point in time, I just really didn't want to get into it with 7 other guys about why they're wrong. They don't know and it doesn't affect them. So all they're saying is the visual of the looting and the rioting, and they should be, they should just be shot. They should be arrested, thrown in jail. And I'm not making slights to them. But at the same time, it hurt me as a black man because I feel this rage and I'm not related to Floyd. I called one of the gentlemen today and asked him about it. I had to, after I've calmed down, in order to get what I needed off my chest. And I asked him to say, when your daughters go out, and this will help for people who have daughters more than boys. But anybody of any color, when their daughters go out, somewhere in the back of their mind, they are always worried about if the daughter will be assaulted, taken advantage of, something bad happening. As a father to a young man of color, every time my son goes out and he's hanging out with his friends, I worry. I worry for myself if I encounter a cop. The gentleman's like, well, I was always taught that you say, yes, sir, you address the officer with respect, and you don't get smart, you don't get flippant, and if you're running down an alley and you're waving a gun, you should know not to wave a gun. No, my son, a lot of these gentlemen and people, women, know to address an officer with respect just because they don't want to end up getting in trouble with them. We're not talking about the kid that's the young gangbanger or the delinquent that's running down the dark alley with presumably a gun or something doing wrong. We're not talking about them. We're talking about the little 12-year-old boy who's out there playing cops and robbers with an air gun that looks like a real gun. And the cops' cruisers barely slow down before they're sitting there letting fire. It hurts. And I haven't even lost anybody, knock on wood. But they don't get it. The rage that builds up inside of us because of helplessness. And at some point, You just lash out. And no, I can't justify it. It's not an excuse. It is what it is. To the people who are just using it as an excuse to get free stuff, to cause destruction, those are those that are there, that element. And that optic is hurting and hijacking the cause. Because during peaceful rallies back in the day, Selma, Martin Luther King, if they were rioting and they're getting dog sicked on them, they're getting beaten with batons, they're getting lynched, public sympathy eventually came over to our side, and we won more people because you can see that it's not fair. They're getting beat, they're getting hosed, they're not doing anything wrong yet. These people want to trample these people. And so therefore, it's easy to get behind that sentiment. But when I'm not going to say thugs, but when the people are, they're not, but some are. But when they're sitting there looting and rioting, it is a cry for help, and it is screaming out frustration, anger, and wanting justice for some, and then others the thing. But what that does is, that makes the people watching saying, oh, terrible, look at them, destruction, crabs in a box. All they're doing is just self-destructing, and this is why. And I can see where their point is, and that doesn't make it right. But to my friends of, the white guys, it hurts. It hurt me. I'm mad. I've been carrying this since last night. And I've even called, okay, what do you think we can do? Give me a solution. I am not the sharpest tack in the box. So therefore, let other people above my pay grade come up with a solution to help all of us. But you guys don't want to be uncomfortable. We've been uncomfortable. We're always uncomfortable when it comes to our kids being in public. And like I said, we're not talking about the ones who are out there pushing the fringe. I'm talking about the ones minding their own business, carrying along, doing nothing wrong like your kids do every single day. So when I ask what should we do, this isn't trying to get illicit response, just to get traction for a video. No. Give us something productive to where we can all figure this out together. I hate being mad. I hate hurting like this. So just imagine what the people are like who have lost people to aggressive tactics by the police that have gone unpunished, regardless of all the evidence against them. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen to other races and it doesn't happen to people of non-color. It happens to them too. But right now, the bullseye is square on our back. And just like with Kaepernick kneeling to protest this, but his message became about being disrespectful. Now this isn't about Floyd and about Black Lives Matter, and it's about how dare you riot and loot and cause mass destruction. It's uncomfortable. But nobody I know and trust and respect in my circle, black, white, or others, seems to have a viable solution. We can all agree what's wrong. And until dialogue is there, a debate means that you can be swayed. Just arguing, no. Arguing, you're stuck. You don't care about right or wrong. You just want to be right. You just want to be right. At least a debate, you're there to participate and to hear the other side. But the other side isn't trying to hear us. And this is only going to get worse. So in closing, I ask you, please, tell us, what are we to do? Because until you care, even if it doesn't affect you, about our plight, which eventually becomes your plight because it spills over like a boiling pot, it spills over and causes a mess for everybody. And Mr. Twitfingers is over there just doing what he does. Dissension among America. I'm striving for progress, not perfection. I hope you are too. Prayers to all of us. And what would you have us do?